Hello there, YouTube. This is Tycooners Steve, welcoming you back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. I stopped building zoos for a little bit. I kind of set it aside, got interested in other things. But just the other day, I find myself coming back to Play Planet Zoo, started building a zoo, and then I realized, well, I might as well record some things and throw it up on my channel, let you know I'm alive, maybe inspire you to get back into the game too if you've let it off, or if you're still working on it, maybe give you something to inspire you in that, or you can leave comments below telling me what I'm doing wrong, what you've learned while I've been gone. Anyway, I just want to show you my Baird's Tapir exhibit that I've got to the front of the zoo. In fact, let's actually just show you the entrance area first here so you can kind of see what's going on. See, I've got to put pretty wide space here to let the guests into. Made a little ticket booth here to the right, called it Tickets. I've went and put an information booth. I built that into the ticket thing, so the guests will actually line up and walk through the little, like you see, they'll walk through the little maze here and get to the window. I don't know why these guests are stuck. Usually people get through pretty good, but maybe if I just move one, it'll help it out. Anyway, that's not too concerning. Yeah, they must have just been on a hitbox somewhere. Something weird happened there, but usually they walk through just fine. On the other side, I've just kind of put in a basic large bathroom, a couple of vending machines, and an ATM just to get the services going and get the money. This is a money zoo, not a sandbox. You can see I've gone ahead and built in an entrance arch, mostly based around this little semicircle pop-out so I could throw the bear statue on top. Made a little fake curb. I did that by grabbing some poles and sinking them into the ground. As a matter of fact, if I remember, I'll go ahead and throw all the construction things I've made on the server, so if you want to just download them and use them, all means. You can see I'm using a lot of that. They both came in the Australian pack, both this corrugated metal, the light blue, and this lighter wood. I think they look great together, and I've been using them a lot when I play around. So let's go ahead and walk through into the main entrance. In fact, we'll zoom around here and show you the back side of the main entrance before we show you this tapir exhibit. Got these bear statues here. Probably not going to keep them. I just kind of a placeholder for now. I haven't done all the landscaping in this area, so that's to come. Put in a couple of just generic information signs to help build that up. To the right here, this is actually the main zookeeper area that you start from. You can see our mechanics going probably, well, that's mechanical research. He's probably going to the staff room over here. But we've got a mechanical research. That's going to be our animal exchange. There's a staff room, a vet room, or vet research, and then there's the actual vet hospital and the quarantine over on this side. Again, just went with that blue metal and that lighter wood. Kind of just created it as a multi-level. Put in a little higher roof here just to give it a little more character. Tried to leave all of the windows exposed if possible. Just a pro tip, if you're doing something like that yourself, you want to build... it's just a little nicer looking, I think, than having the individual buildings out there. But always make sure you put in that buffer zone between the pathway that your guests walk on and where your actual things, your staff facilities are, because otherwise it'll negatively impact them. You can see I've got a nice, ugly, basic little souvenir stand I just threw down. We're making money, so I'm not overly concerned. We did have to build a second exhibit because we were losing money for a while. But let's go ahead and look at the actual Baird's Tapir exhibit that we built. Of course, the sun's starting to set now, so let me go ahead and wait until the sun's up so I can show you better. Alright, sun's coming up again, so let's go ahead and take a look. You can see that there's two viewing areas. One's kind of an inside area. I'll tour that first. There is also an outside area over here to the left. Let's go ahead and go in here. And whoops, we're a little high. Let's get down to human level. And you can see I've gone ahead and built this like deck area. I've kind of floated in some of the glass panels, sunk them halfway or 2/3 of the way down in order to get that little faux fence. There's actually a null fence running right through here. That's what's stopping the guests from going through. And you can see it's actually a pretty good view of our tapirs. It's like one of them's doing his business. So yeah, there's that's always there. That's fun. Pretty clear view of the tapir area, the tapir inside area. I decided that was okay. I also wanted to make it functional, so we've got that hard shelter built right into it. If we look around here, you can see that there's more of a big pool. Tapirs do like to swim, so it's always fun to watch them splash around in there. Of course, now They're just kind of poking around with each other by that big scratching post. Go ahead and show off the shelter a little bit here. You can see I've used a pot to sort of cover up the fact that they don't quite match up if you're going to float in the glass boards doing exactly what I am. Over here, we can see we've put up a Tapir sign, sort of a generic, I think it's global warming. Yeah, it's talking about global warming. Pause that so I don't mess my inspector up. Also put in a bench there so people can sit down. People aren't really using that bench though, so I'm not 100% sure it's functional. Because we did put in a ground, we got a little bit of a lip. You can't just do the water straight up to it as far as I'm aware. But I just left a little bit of grass area and then put down some stones. Turned this into high grass so it looks like it's not getting mowed as much. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Oh, you can see, I should also note, there's a canopy here. You can see this is all just one big group. Let's go ahead and call it... go ahead and do that, and I'll save it as a blueprint. So if any of you want it, we can go ahead and upload it for you. Tag. You should just know that I want Tapir. I guess that's a little too much for it. And really, you could use that for anything. It doesn't have to be a Tapir, but... Go ahead and create it. Should have done this off. It's been a while since I've recorded, so... I did give it a blueprint tag. Oh, no, I didn't. Field toilets, ATMs, information, scenery, scene, statues, nature, habitat. Alright. Okay. Let's went ahead and did that. But you can see it's mostly just the regular pole set that you get right away in the game. You don't have to unlock anything. You can get right into that. And it's also using that very basic planked wood that you get in order to create the canopy effect. So you can see that the guests do interact with it. They like to come out here. They do like to put money into that donation box. That's pretty cool. You can also see our guest here at the other viewing area. That's not requiring them to go inside. Let's go ahead and join them on that end and get down to their level. See, it's just a real basic fence that goes along here. Went ahead and hung up another one of the information signs. There is a speaker playing Tapir information. It's in this little square area that's actually not doing anything. That's just kind of a hollow place. But it lets me put a pretty good size area because I can just crank that thing up to a 20 range and we get information throughout. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the actual exhibit. You can see it's mostly that big pool up front. And then I've gone ahead and just over along the edges put in some reeds and a couple of things. These big bamboo shoots here, they're not for the tapirs, they're to hide the fact that's the entrance our zookeepers are going to come out of. We've got a door there for them to swing out of when they're not noticing. So hopefully, you as a guest won't see that, but it's there for us and it's not going to cause any issues for people getting to the things. This is a hard shelter right here, like I said. It's just the regular one that you get in the game, very basic, but it's built into our Tapir house, which is this whole exhibit, this whole area here. It's got a null fence going through the outside, so that's what's going on. There's also a second entrance here. You can see, just in case there were some hitbox issues with our keepers, I decided to go ahead and give them a second attempt, or a second way to get in. You always kind of want to do that, because I find sometimes their pathfinding is not the greatest in this game. For the tapirs, right now I have a closed entrance. I went ahead and closed this by putting up one of those animal gates, but you can remove that and let them in and out. Once they come in, you'll see that they have to follow this pathway going through here, and whoops, that was not supposed to be there. Must have misclicked at some point and didn't even realize it. Let's get rid of that because we don't need it. Okay. And they're going to go into this pen area. They're going to have this main sort of hallway between the two pens. You can send them from one or the other if you need to split them up. Went ahead and just put in some basic things like little food troughs. Got some hay for them to lay down in. And you can see that there's an area here that's covered with a cement floor. That's where the humans are supposed to walk. Here is the actual functional gate to the exhibit. So you can see that when they come in, they can either just walk through here and make it to that one door we have on the side, or they can go through here and go through that entrance that we hid behind the bamboo. There is a little vestibule area, which I always like to put in behind the gate, so you can walk through here and take out, and this is going to be the zookeeper area behind it. The first thing we did was we left a little bit of extra room that our zookeepers aren't going to walk off, just so we can put in some trees, because we want to block off this building from our guest's view. And this is just a very simple, very basic building we built for our keepers that are taking care of the tapirs. It includes this area here with these two windows. I've had a mechanic sign on there. It's not actually a mechanical research, but it is a power grid and a water filtrator. We definitely need the water filtration because there's so much water for the tapirs to go in that it's just going to get too dirty. And I'm trying to extend the power grid, obviously. So putting it back here behind the exhibit where it's far away from the guest, they're not going to get us as upset, so it's always a good thing. This door here actually is going to go into the small zookeeper house, so that's where they can prepare the food for our tapirs. And then I did put in a small staff break room so they can go there and take a break. I also threw in a bench and a security camera to make it look like they have an outside break area if they want to, smoke or whatever. And that's kind of about it for this exhibit. I'm actually pretty proud of it. I think it came out really well. I'm trying to give you here as many good looks as I can of it. So you can see the viewing area here from the guest side. Let me go ahead and swing around so you can see the front again. I probably need to do a little bit more landscaping here. You can see that these curbs are part of it. Those are just really long poles that I sunk down at more or less equal intervals. And then I've given it a little character by using those, the African poles, the poles that are in the African set with the white stripes on them. I've just kind of got them as a facade across, and then I put those little awnings on too to make it look a little bit nicer. As for let me show you where the actual fence is, just so you can see. So you can see that it wraps through here, just like you would suspect. So it's actually this annul fence that's going through the whole thing, and that's going to be true with the building, the tapir house as well. You can see that it goes through and then it wraps around. So really what's happening is we've got these two cutouts basically where our fence goes, and that's going to allow you to put in those guest viewing areas. That null fence is so good. You make sure you're making use of it. That's basically the most basic pro tip. I zoomed out enough. You can probably see there are some air in their areas. Put in a real quick tortoise habitat just because the zoo was losing money, so I had to get something else in. It needs to be jazzed up, so it's as plain as you can get. I just had a bunch of tortoises still sitting in my exchange, so I could throw them in there for free. I did do a little, I guess I'll do a little bit of a brag here. I've got the fence wrapped around here for the hedge fence, going up to this slightly elevated path. I'm going to go ahead and just do it slightly elevated, and then I put the actual fence for the exhibit just behind that, and that let me stick in the sign in between the two. So that's a good little trick if you're going to want to make a better viewing area for your guest. By raising it up a little bit, it lets you look down and have a better view, so the fence is less obstructive. So I can have this, even though this is a very short fence, because the tortoises were so small, I figured I had to do that to make them more visible. And I've really got to snazz this up because it looks terrible in the back there. But yeah, so that's it. That's the Barge Tapir exhibit. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this kind of thing where I just go in afterwards and kind of show the exhibit? Would you prefer that I still took the time to record while I was building? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and do whichever one you prefer. You can see I've already started leveling out a place here, so we're going to have a nice little lemur island coming up next. But first, I'm going to have to fix those tortoises. I'll probably do that off camera, regardless of what you vote below, because there's a delay. But if you comment below, I'm definitely going to read them, and if enough people say, or if anyone really says they want to watch me build instead of doing the walkthrough after, that's probably what I'll do. If you prefer the walkthroughs, just let me know that too. Anyway, I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Tapir house in the blueprints as well. So if you need access to that, just let me know. I'm going to have Tapir house, Tapir viewing, and I think I'll go ahead and include, in case anybody wants it, the entrance arch. That took me a little bit of time, so I'm going to back it up anyway by making a blueprint. Oh, this needs to be straightened out a little bit, I see now. But again, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you like this, be sure to like it in the comments. If you want to keep up with this, because I do post infrequently, probably the best thing to do is to go ahead and click that bell notification icon so you can be aware of when I do post. Other than that, this is Tycooners Steve saying bye.